Well, a week on from a stirring comeback win, Argyle's first of the season, and once again they go in search of evening entertainment in the hope of their first points in Sky Bet League One. 3 defeats to start the campaign. It hasn't really been what anyone was hoping for. However, tonight against Leyton Orient could well be the day that Argyle get their season up and running. They've won 4 of their last 5 league games against tonight's opponents, so maybe an omen. All of the action coming your way on Argyle TV. Hello, good evening and welcome to Argyle TV. I am Erin Black and this is the pre-match show live from Home Park. As you know, Argyle's season hasn't really got going yet, but there is no time like the present to get things up and running. 3 matches in, no points to show yet, but if they could repeat that performance that we saw 7 days ago when they knocked out championship opposition in the Carabao Cup, then things would be looking a whole lot happier here at Home Park. Orient come here after a decent start, 1 win, 1 loss and 1 draw so far, and they'll certainly be coming here tonight looking for an upset. So if you're not with us at the ground tonight, then don't worry because we've got you covered and we've got lots to come over the next 30 minutes. Team news, interviews, all of the good stuff, and then of course you can watch the game as well. Your match passes, both audio and video streaming, are available to purchase over on the website. You want to head over to pafc.co.uk for all of the details. And joining me tonight in the studio, out of the rain, is none other than Argyle and England defender Gemma Rose. Gemma, this is your first time in the new studio.
It is, yeah. It's the first time I've actually been in and seen it.
What do you think?
It's lovely, isn't it?
And I think makes a difference that we're not out in. I know it's only August, and usually the weather's quite nice, but it's been on the turn lately. So I think we would have been out in for a bit of a cold one this evening.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely taken a turn for the worse yesterday and today. So no, I'm very thankful for the new studio.
Yes, well the studio is going right so far, but things out on the pitch not so good for Argyle. I know we're only a couple of games in, but what's your assessment been of the start of the season so far?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely been a really disappointing start of the season. I think in pre-season I think the fans are really optimistic for the season ahead. Obviously we got relegated last season, now in League One. And we were looking to push on, hopefully, to get promoted back into the Championship, but it's not looking likely. It's very early on in the season. We've only played 3 games. Unfortunately, we've conceded a lot of goals. We haven't yet picked up a point, but hopefully tonight it's an opportunity for us to gain a bit of momentum, get 3 points on the board and really start pushing on our season now. Yeah,
I think one of the positives that we've tried to be clinging on to, certainly in the recent rounds of Argyle TV, is the last time we've suffered defeats like this at the start of a season, it has actually led to a promotion winning season come the end of it. But it's all well and good saying that now, you do at some point have to get the win. And I think, as time goes on, I think fans are really starting to want to see something a bit different from the team.
Yeah, and I think winning early on in the season as well has that psychological element as well. I mean, it gives you that momentum, it gives you that boost going forward. And I think once you start winning games, the team and individual performances start to enhance as well. I think Tom cleverly mentioned it in an interview this week, how important today's fixture is and how important it is to get 3 points and obviously get the win. He isn't necessarily too concerned about the performance today. He's more concerned about getting 3 points over putting on a good performance, and he spoke about as well gaining a bit of momentum now and really starting pushing on this season.
Yeah, and it's a couple of home games as well. We've got tonight, we've got Saturday, and then of course in terms of the run of games as well, we're in quite a tight period over the next couple of weeks because we're Tuesday again the following week. So if you didn't get a win with the speed of the games that we've got coming up, do you think that would impact a little bit more as well?
Yeah, I think it really impacts individual performances. It really puts you on your back foot, and it really impacts not necessarily just your playing performance, but also your mentality of how you approach training as well. I think once you pick up that win, once you start performing more positively on the pitch as well in training and in matches, it starts to show more consistently as well. We'll start maintaining possession of the ball for longer periods of time. We'll stop scoring from conceding from set pieces and silly goals, and we'll just start picking up and gaining momentum throughout the season. And today's a really big opportunity, pushing on throughout the season. And like you said as well, going into another home fixture at the weekend as well is a really big opportunity.
Yeah, a big opportunity for all the players. You would have just seen Alex Mitchell on your screen there as well, one of the new signings for Argyle. He will be featuring in the starting lineup tonight. Let's have a look at it in full. Your team news for this evening: you have in goal Luca Ashby-Hammond, Cornell Suge, Alex Mitchell, Brendan Galloway, Eamon Benarous, Malachi Boateng, Caleb Watts, Tegan Finn, Xavier Amici, Barley Mumba and Owen Asani. And on the bench, Baker, Ibrahim, Roberts, Peppel, Sorinola, Hatch and Palson. Like we said, Gemma, there's, I think, 5 changes in there, but also this new signing that we've got, Mitchell, in the back there, as you can see. I think that's an area defensively Argyle need to be looking at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you read things online about how it's important for us to start signing strikers, but personally I think it's really important we start strengthening defensively. We've conceded really silly goals, really sloppy goals, and defensively we haven't looked necessarily that strong in that area. So I think Mitchell's going to be a really key signing for us this season. He's got a lot of League One experience. He's been involved in some promotion-winning teams as well. He's got that really important winning mentality. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, really crucial for this season for us.
Yeah, I mean, he had 36 appearances in League One when he was with Lincoln in the 23-24 season. They ended up finishing 7th in the league. And he's got other accolades as well. He scored his first senior goal against Celtic when he was over in the SPL. So, like he said, I think he's got enough experience that he will be able to bring that, hopefully, and maybe just change whatever habit, ritual, rhythm Argyle seems to have fallen in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it's good as well having someone fresh coming in at this point in the season. He's got that like we said, that winning mentality, and I think he'll bring something different on the pitch and off the pitch as well. He knows how to win football matches. He knows how to behave off the pitch as well in terms of encouraging more from players, encouraging more from his team. And I think those expectations and those demands are going to have a really positive impact on our performances. Quite similar to Joe Edwards, really, how he demands obviously more from players. Yeah. Being in that captaincy role and having his experience, it's good for Mitchell to come in with similar experiences from other clubs. Yeah,
and you mentioned, of course, a lot of people crying out for the club to sign a striker. There has been, goals from the team, not as many as we have conceded, unfortunately. Conceded 8 goals in the last 3 league games so far. But Amici got his first goal on Saturday. We've also seen goals from Owen Asani. So there is an appetite there. It's just not quite coming together, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to take time. I think there's new players coming into a new club, travelling from around the world, different places in England. So it is going to take time for the team to gel, and it is going to take time for individual players to show, obviously, what they're capable of. I think, for example, we've got Amici. For me, he's been fantastic. He hasn't played that many minutes, obviously, prior to signing for us. So I do think he's going to be a slow burner, but when he gets up and running, I think he's going to be a really key player for us this season. And I think it's going to be really important for us to keep him fit for the season as well.
I suppose maybe he's showing a bit more of that creative link in the side that Argyle are going to need to counteract the fact that we haven't got an out-and-out striker, perhaps.
Yeah, you can see technically when he regains possession of the ball, he's automatically looking forward. He's looking to play forward. He's looking to obviously dominate the central defenders and things like that. So he has been a really standout player for us. I think secretly he's gone under the radar as well. He's done like the difficult things well, and sometimes he's gone unnoticed during games, but he has played some really key possession-based football, and he's linked up really well with Caleb Watts in the middle as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, Leyton Orient staged a dramatic comeback on Saturday to grab that draw with Stockport. So let's have a little look at the side that they have put together for this evening. You have Tommy Simkin, Teo Adaramola, Dan Happy, Ollie O'Neill, Idris El Mazouni, Aaron Connolly, Michael Craig, Tyreek Backinson, Josh Karoma, Omar Beckles, Dilang Jayasimi, and on their bench, Cahill, James, Simpson, Mitchell, Morehouse, Abdullah and Clare. It's a tricky one because, like you said, they've had a bit of a mixed bag start of the season, but it does include a win and that comeback draw against Stockport, going 2-0 down to 2-2 and right up until the 93rd minute. So they have already demonstrated, the tenacity, the want to win, and they're certainly going to want to do that here at home park with the run that Argyle have been on.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you compare their start this season compared to last season, I think they lost the majority of their, first 3 to 5 games last season. So for them, I think it's a really positive start in comparison to obviously last season's start to their campaign. Obviously, two standout players for them would be probably Connolly and Karoma. They've both obviously scored goals this season already, really early on. Two really key strikers and players that we need to be aware of in today's game. And I'm sure we've done the preparation leading up to this game to make sure we counteract their strengths defensively. And I think it's going to be really important for us today to make the pitch nice and compact, limit their space on the ball, ensure that we obviously get tight in and around the box to obviously minimise the amount of opportunities that they have inside and around the edge of the 18-yard box as well. Yeah, well, Josh Karoma has a goal and an assist since signing in the summer. It's a good start for him. You know, we'll see some of this there. So this is kind of what you were saying about Argyle needing to be a bit more compact to tackle him. And he scored against us before. Yeah, and I think that's probably why we've brought Mitchell in to start really early on in the season as well. Obviously, he's just recently signed, but I think he's going to be a really key player in today's game to make sure he's controlling our back four, making sure we're nice and compact, we're stepping up the pitch, we're dropping when we need to drop and assess. And we're getting really tight to those key players that we just spoke about to make sure, again, we limit their opportunities and obviously hope we make as many opportunities as we can going forwards. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because we would have seen Argyle, you know, in the previous game going 3-0 down. And yes, a comeback was on, but it's about not giving away those opportunities so early where you put yourself in that position where it's almost an unachievable uphill battle, isn't it? Yeah, and I think today we need to be patient. I think players naturally are going to get frustrated because they're going to want to start the game on the front foot. They're going to want to start the game scoring early, gaining momentum and getting straight into the game. But I think it's going to be about being patient, sticking to the game plan, doing the basics right, keeping possession, making the pitch nice and big when we have possession and staying tight and compact when we don't have the ball. But I think today's a really big opportunity for us to get 3 points against a team where historically we do win against. And I think that needs to be the mentality going into today's game, the fact that we need to win, we can win, and we have won against this team in the past as well. So yeah, mentality is very important, and I suppose there's no better person to explain where their head is at ahead of this game than Tom Cleverley. He sat down with Charlie Price.
I know you answered this on Saturday, but having had a couple of days of thought about it, the game against Lincoln, for the majority of it, was not what you wanted, we wanted. Has that last section of the game done anything for you and the rest of the coaches, maybe in terms of an idea that's the standard, that's the or not? Like,
no. But for me, that's, I'm speaking really honestly here. That for me, that it's quite a false part of the game because you're 3-0 down, and it's really easy to then want the ball, express yourself, nothing to lose. So I'm pleased in terms of we're looking fit at the end of games to continue going. Really important minutes for Zav for these, because he's someone who's not completed too many 90 minutes. And the last part of the game, when the game stretches and opens up, I think Zav can be really effective, as you saw, goal and assist in the last 20 minutes. So I'm pleased from a fitness perspective how strong we're looking at the end of games. From a mentality and game plan perspective, if we see that 20 minutes from at the start of the next game or just before half time in the next game, then yeah, I will think we're onto something, and that is the challenge for the players, that we can see how good we can be, but we have to play with the shackles off a little bit more from the start.
It's a tricky position to be in, like new coach or a coach at a new club, and you haven't yet got the win, because I think, when you're going to come in, you want to have a fresh start, you want to have a good solid start, and I think it takes a lot of resolve to actually have 3 losses on the bounce as well, and still try and have these conversations where you're being as open and as honest as possible and optimistic as well.
Yeah, and I think that's where his experience comes in from a player's perspective as well. I think he's probably been there and done that. He's been in a similar situation where he's probably played games where they've lost, but they've been able to pick themselves back up and then win, and then know that win then pushes them on moving forwards. And I think that experience is obviously really positive for him in this situation that he's in, obviously at Plymouth Argyle. But I do feel like he is the right coach for this club. I think he's been fantastic. He's brought in some really key players. and I do believe in what he's trying to build at the club. It is going to make us successful, but it might take a bit of time for us to get there. But I do think that once we get that win, once we start putting on more positive performances, it will hopefully start to be more consistent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this Argyle team are like with a win under their belts rather than trying to bounce back from, you know, previous failures. I mean, if we just look at the last game, for example, that 10-minute chunk where we were on the comeback, you know, it was really entertaining to watch. And a lot happened in that game as well. I mean, one player that we haven't mentioned yet already that's not featuring tonight, Brendan Wiradu, because he got red carded, which, again, sometimes it seems maybe things just don't quite fall your way when you're an Argyle fan, for sure. I mean, I don't know how you felt about that red card, but...
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a controversial red card, personally, in my opinion. I don't necessarily think that probably would have been a second yellow in the Premier League if VAR got involved. But obviously we're in the situation where he's obviously not available for us today. We've had to rotate the team, which I think we probably would have done anyway. But not necessarily Wiradu, but maybe another player would have rotated. But I do think it's a big opportunity for us in today's game. It's really important to pick up 3 points, and I think as well put on a good performance for the fans as well that have travelled a long way for away fixtures. But yeah, hopefully just the 3 points.
Well, it's certainly another example of more obstacles that Argyle need to overcome, whether it be, you know, a couple of matches not won or players out for selection. There's a lot going on, but let's have a look at our opposition then. Richie Wellens is in his 4th season as Orient boss. He has a promotion and a playoff final appearance in that time, but he is still very wary about how dangerous Argyle can be.
Plymouth have lost their first 3 games, but we probably know better than anyone. You can lose your first 3 games and still be a really good team, can't you?
Yeah, I also think when I've seen clips on them, it's like they've got goals in the team and they can come back from being behind. Maybe it's a hangover the last year when it's difficult to win games, isn't it? Especially when you're used to winning. When you're used to losing, it's difficult to win games. But Clevs has gone in there, new manager. He'll need time. I think they've got some talented footballers, and if he gets it right, he can be a huge threat at this level. Sometimes you know we've been there the last 2 seasons where we've lost our first 3. Last year we lost our first 4. The first thing you concentrate on is defensive. Make sure you keep your clean sheet, get your first point. You know, put your little steps in first. But I'm sure as the weeks go by and the months go by, they'll be fine.
And I think it's the longest league trip of the season tomorrow night. Thankfully, it's coming in August in the school holidays as well. So, message for those fans who are heading down to Devon.
Brilliant. If you're travelling down, it's brilliant because it is a long. We always get Plymouth on a Tuesday night. I'd imagine our supporters would love to go to Plymouth on a Saturday. Beautiful part of the country. But on a motorway on a Tuesday afternoon, getting there, obviously a late night back. We always seem to get Plymouth away. It wouldn't surprise me if Exeter away is cancelled because of international. We play them away on a Tuesday night. The fixtures don't really land too favourable for us. But I like to think of it, imagine being a Plymouth fan and they travel away every single week and they're an unbelievable set of supporters. So if you're travelling down, obviously brilliant effort with the expense, the time and all the other stuff that goes along with that. But like we always do, we'll put in a performance that is worth your while.
Richie Wellens, straight from the boot room there by the looks of it. It was nice actually hearing him talk about the fan element of this, because a lot of the time in the head coach presses, a lot of it is to do with the football, of course, but nice to acknowledge his travelling fans, but also how much travelling Argyle fans have to do, because sometimes it can feel like a bit of a thankless task if you're up and down the country not getting the results.
Yeah, I've actually never heard a manager speak that positively about another club before. It's actually really nice to hear, and also as well, like you said, mentioning like our fans and their travelling fans as well, and the impact it has obviously on people that work jobs and having to travel up and down the country to obviously to support Argyle, but they do it for a reason. Obviously, we're a big club. They love coming to watch Plymouth Argyle play football. And obviously, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be able to perform at this high standard as well. So I know all the players would be extremely grateful for the fact that they travel such a long way to go and watch, obviously, Argyle play. Yeah, of course. I mean, you would have just seen there on the screen, Home Park slowly filling up. We'll have to get the figures for the away fans so we know how many have travelled down for this fixture.
Of course, ideally, from our perspective, we are going to want to disappoint the Leyton Orient fans, because while they've travelled a long way, we don't want them to come here and steal a win, because that will mean another loss for Argyle. So when you're looking at the fixture tonight, what are you thinking is going to be difficult for Argyle, first of all?
I think attacking wise, I think Leyton Orient have got a really strong front three. I think, like we spoke about before, being nice and compact, doing the basics right, but I think they're going to be a massive threat going forward. So defensively, we need to be switched on. So I think that's one really key thing to think about today. I think offensively, we are capable of scoring goals. We don't necessarily have an out-and-out goal scorer, but team-wise, we have players that can score goals. We have creativity within the team, but we just need to make sure we're obviously structured defensively to make sure we limit their opportunities, but like I spoke about, inside and outside the box as well. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say Argyle, how Argyle can be successful, but I suppose that is it. It's about, well, first of all, I mean, it's not conceding first, which is something we've done, well, since the start of the season, really, and I imagine that probably does have a bit of an impact on the mentality. Yes, we've had a couple of close comebacks, and I imagine that's a great, I don't know if you've had that situation in your playing career when you come back more or less from going down. I imagine that's quite bolstering. Yeah, but when you can't fully pull it back and you still end up losing, it's a weird feeling. I think after the game you feel absolutely knackered, because like you've gone through all those psychological emotions and physiological, like obviously playing the game as well. But we don't really want to be in that situation again. But it's exciting for the fans, but it's frustrating for fans as well. But I think another key area we need to be aware of today is making sure we don't concede from a set piece. Yeah. I think we've looked really vulnerable from corners especially, so making sure we're really organised for set pieces and making sure we're aerially really hard to beat and we win our aerial duels today again. It's going to be really important. Yeah, I certainly agree. It's a tricky one, because we've been in this situation before in previous seasons when we've been in a bad spell where you go, okay, well, hopefully the next one will be the win, or hopefully the next one. But again, we are so early in the season. A lot of this conversation seems quite premature, because, like you said, this is quite a fresh squad. You know, I mean, one of the players that we've got in tonight, freshly signed. You think we're still in a bit of a gelling, finding our feet process here? Yeah, and I think if you look at our signings as well, we made quite a few signings quite late into the transfer window as well, quite late into pre-season. So it is going to take time for them to gel. It is going to take time for them to adjust to the lifestyle as well of living in Plymouth. All these factors obviously contribute to performances. Think about if you start a new job, that has an impact on your lifestyle. Exactly the same for footballers that have moved their families down to Plymouth and things like that. So it is going to have a massive impact on them, and it is going to take time for them to gel individually, and then obviously over time that will show on the pitch, and hopefully it will show in positive performances and then positive results as well. Well, I think we want a positive result this evening. We just have to hope that it happens. We are pretty much ready to get going here on Argyle TV for you. So just a quick reminder, your match passes, if you haven't got them already, now is probably the best time to do so, and they are available over on the website pafc.co.uk. You will have Charlie Price and Ian Stonebridge providing your commentary this evening, and Gemma and I will be back with you at half-time and to wrap up, hopefully, with some positive highlights at the very end of the show. But right now, it is Argyle versus Leyton Orient, and they're up next.